each integer from 1 to 9 is written on a paper chip. The paper chips are placed in a box, one chip is chosen and the chip is put back in the box. This is repeated for a second chip. The numbers on the chips are added. In how many ways can you get a sum of 8? So just imagine you've literally got the numbers 1 to 9 and you just pick out a chip. Note what it says, put it back, get another one, and it's say how many different combinations can lead to a sum of 8. Well, I suppose you could, on chip 1, you could, if you got a 1 on chip 1, you could get a 7 on chip 2, so that would be one way of doing it. You could get a 2 on chip 1, which would mean you need a 6 on chip 2. You could get a 3 with chip 1, and you could get a 5 with chip 2. You could get 4 on each because the chip where's it say the chip goes? Because the chip goes back in the box, that means if I did take a 4 on chip 1, once we put it back, I could potentially pick that 4 again. When I say chip 1, I mean the first chip that I get. It's not, doesn't have to be a different chip necessarily. So I could get a 5 on chip 1 and a 3 on chip 2, 6 on chip 1, which would mean a 2 on chip 2, a 7 on chip 1, which would mean a 1 on chip 2. And remember, I'm only interested in the total number of outcomes that lead to this thing happening, the number of favourable outcomes. I'm not being asked for a probability, so I don't need to know how many outcomes are possible in total. I'm just being asked for how many ways can this thing happen. So how many ways can you get a sum of 8? Just the total number of favourable outcomes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.